Hello, everyone. Welcome to the new episode of Hen Live. I am your host for today, Himani. I am a creative strategist and founder of EduWive Solutions. EduWive Solutions is a 13-year-old branding and digital marketing consultancy that partners with founders and help them get clarity and focus for their brand growth. Today, I am representing HEN, her entrepreneurial network, which is my go-to community with for networking with women founders. HEN supports women founders who are looking for learning, growth, and networking. Building business is already very hard, so why do it alone? Every week with HEN, we talk to one of our members who is making a difference in the world, and we bring out their amazing work. We bring out their knowledge for everyone to have a look at and for everyone to connect. And today, I am welcoming Manika Sharma.
Hi, Himani.
Hi, Manika. Thank you for coming.
Pleasure is all mine. And thank you to all the lovely listeners as well.
Yeah, so I'll just do a quick introduction of yours, and then we'll move to all the questions that I have.
Sure. Please go ahead.
Okay, so for our listeners, Manika is an academician with more than a decade or 2 decades of experience, right, Manika?
Yeah, yeah.
And she is founder of the Seven C's. Uh, it's it's a concept as well as an organization that she is building, which talks about the early childhood education and holistic parenting platform that helps parents, educator, and schools. So it supports children under 6 with clarity and confidence. And Manika and her organizations are creating story based learning resources, parenting programs, and teacher training frameworks. These are designed to prepare children not just for school but for life. Thanks, Manika, for joining us.
Thank you, Himani.
So I'm thrilled when I came to know about the Seven C's program of yours and how you explained it across to me. I think that was very nice explanation, and I would love that. We start with that only, and you explain what the Seven C's mean when we are looking at the education during the early ages.
Sure. The idea and the name of Seven Seas is it conceptualizes the whole essence of the philosophy that we have behind our whole content, where we look at a child from a holistic perspective. Now, most of the time, whenever you hear the word holistic, we think of IQ, we think of PQ, physical quotient, and intelligence quotient is something that we are looking at, right? And for a very long time, when schools were using this term holistic development, they were thinking of music, art. These are the concepts that
Craft,
are
yeah.
mostly come to your mind when you hear the word holistic education. But the way we look at it is a little different, coming from the whole Ashtanga Yoga principles, actually, so to tell you. That is from where this whole concept comes from in the picture as well. We look at these seven colors, I like calling it seven colors, which are shaping a child's development. So the first one is the child, him or herself. Then, so that is number one individual, that's a child. Then you have your parents, who are two individuals. Then the third element is your environment. The fourth one is the communication between all the three which we talked about before.
Yeah.
The fifth is the five elements of nature, which are playing a direct connection with how your child is actually developing. The sixth one is the educational space, building the quotient, learning first of all, getting the awareness that something exists, understanding that how it actually functions, then using it for a bigger purpose. And finally, the seventh one is the consciousness of who you are at a spiritual level and how we are connected as one being with everything. So these are the seven C's or the seven quotients that I talked about.
Yeah, thank you for explaining that. And yes, now when I'm listening to you, I understand there's so much more into development of a child, especially in the early ages spectrum. I wanted to ask you now. Obviously, we grew like compared to today's parenting, compared to today's schooling, what has changed from, like, if we compare 2026 to 2006, what all changes have come across?
Oh, there are so many, but I would like to start with the overwhelming content. That is something that has really picked up, not only for the parents, for the educators as well. Because we have so much available everywhere, so that constant jumping from one concept, one idea to another, to another, to another is just a constant flow. And what happens in the process is that there's so much confusion that the parents and educators are not able to navigate that what should I actually use for my child. And most of the time, you're just juggling with the content to figure out this should be the next one or this should be the next one. Which philosophy will be better for my child? Because previously, there were just limited ones which we were exposed to, and there was very limited understanding of each one of them which was available for masses. But now that is not the case. Now everybody has everything. And I mean, you just go to I like taking this example that, let's say that if there is a lady who wants to get a material, my child is showing interest in reading now, and I want to go and buy some content. The natural thing is that she's going to go on Amazon and put it. And interestingly, on Amazon, she will be getting 100 products. And she has to figure out which one she has to pick
Which
out of
one?
those 106.
Yes.
So, the content that is available is so overwhelming that it becomes difficult for parents or educators to navigate through it. That's one of the biggest changes which has come actually in the whole thing.
And so many options are actually making it more overwhelming and more harder for parents as well as the educators.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? Like, how will you are not, you have not researched or you are not invested in your child's developmental theories and how much new resources are coming and new knowledge that is coming in the whole sciences as well. Now, at that point of time, you don't know the product you are buying. Either it is too early for your child or it is too late.
Yeah.
You will get it, you will buy it, but then your child might use it or might not use it,
Mm.
right?
So
So you
unexperimented.
really don't know.
Okay, so I understand that you are working with the early children. So why milestone before the age of 6 are important?
Okay, so I'll like to take a little bit more time over here explaining this whole concept because these days, thankfully, there is much more awareness with the content. See, there is always pros and cons. So that's a pro that because of so much content available, people are becoming aware that the first 6 years actually shape up a child's life. But here, if you look a little closely and minutely, they are not just building the neurons in your brain. A lot of research and talk is around how the brain develops during the first 6 years of the life. But what we have to look at is the holistic child. It is not just the mental body which is developing. It is your physical, your mental, your emotional body. Your data center, the reference emotional body of a child, from which we as adult actually run 97% of the day, from the subconscious mind. And that subconscious mind and connections and likes, dislikes, how things will work, and everything is shaped up during the first 6 years of the life, where we are not even aware about it. So,
Yes.
everything that my environment is bringing to me, hence, that's the reason what I told you before.
Yeah.
Every individual who is in the environment of a child, if they understand that every word I'm speaking is shaping up this child's future, it will be a context for the child. What is good? What is wrong? What should I do? Should I not be doing? Not just on a mental level, but my understanding the fabric of the foundation gets formed in the first 6 years. And every element, like I said, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, my connection with the society, the way I will understand that how I will be, navigating my life, all of that gets settled in us during the first 6 years.
So now when you shape it like this, it becomes, it gets more and more clear to me and I feel to our audience also, that how important are the first 6 years, which at many places, we neglect. Our society has probably taught, or there are some parents which are still aware, but they're still learning that yes, how important this early education or the early part of life is.
Yeah.
Okay, so right now, what do you feel? What are the parents? What are those things where parents are focusing a lot, and what is it that they are completely missing?
Okay, there's this beautiful. I like using this one. If you are a Marvel's fan, and you have seen Doctor Strange first movie, there the one says that you're looking it from your peephole. You need to open up your peephole to really understand what's happening. So why parents are struggling so much? See, they are putting very honest effort. And one thing I really need to give to the parents, that the involvement that parents have, literally speaking, they want to make a change. They want to do the right thing. But what is happening is they are just looking from a small peephole. They are looking at a very small part of a child's development and missing on the rest of the bigger thing that is available. And because the pace at which the world is evolving, the rest of the space is becoming bigger and bigger. So they might be very concentrated on one particular element of introduction for the child, but rest of the spaces are being neglected. And that is the reason that they're juggling with where are we going wrong.
Yeah. Yes, from the wrong, I will come to the topic of screen time. So
Hmm.
I feel this is one of the hottest topic I hear around myself. I hear my friends who are parents talking about this thing, that how much they are trying to curtail it. So, what do you think about this topic? How important it is, and like, is it a hot topic right now? How can parents work around it, especially in early childhood when the child brain is uh, very less, and so they are developing. So yes, whatever they will interact with, that will affect a lot.
Yeah. So screens are a very interesting thing. Now, because they are part of our environment. See, there is a very clear cut uh, research which says that the early 6 years, especially the early 2 years, the child's screen time should not be more than half an hour in a day. But unfortunately, we see children using screens when they're just 2 or 3 months old, also, where parents are putting screens in front of the child because screens are in the environment. But I'll ask one very basic question. We also have electricity around us. That is also around in our environment. Do we let our child play with the electricity board the moment they start crawling? No. What do? We go around the house, we make sure that we baby proof it, we make sure that there are things around, and we gently teach the child how to use that power, that energy, how to use it effectively. That is how we have to first understand as adults that screens are power. And if you're going to give them without the digital literacy, the children will really don't know that how they have to navigate it. And because of the what naturally brain is going through during the first 3 years I'm talking about, is it is like a sponge. It wants to absorb as much as it can. So what happens is that the child naturally absorbs everything that comes, and the brain likes that feeling of it. Now screens, on the other hand, it is a constant feed from the for the brain. So it keeps on giving it more and more and more because the brain has to process it at such a fast pace as well, right? So it is very natural for the brain to like that interface because it is feeding it. But just like I was telling you, that small people, many times parents feel that, well, my child is just looking at the educational content. Then what's wrong in it? It's not wrong. It is that how you are introducing the educational content and the right time of introduction of that content as well. So you don't need screen for the child to introduce rhymes. You can just play it. It will help in their auditory system enhancement. You don't need the screens to show them the videos. You can show them in so many other ways other than screens as well. So it's more about us getting educated as well as parents and
Yeah.
understanding that what is actually happening with our children. I think that is what is the biggest gap right now.
I understand that. And also, this helps me to understand how when you are saying the environment is what is going to shape the whole thing. Yes, I understand your point now.
Okay.
So, many times because of the screen, there is this concept where we say that the child is overstimulated.
Hmm.
And although upfront the child might seem normal, but they are overstimulated. So, what are some early signs which shows this overstimulation?
There are two which I have very commonly seen with children that is happening. One is that the child will not have eye contact with you. If you are talking to the child will constantly keep moving, the eyes keep moving because of the screen, because they are used to of the screen. Unfortunately, just yesterday there was somebody has posted a reel where a child was sleeping and the child had the phone in the hand and the hand was just doing
Scrolling.
like scrolling even in the sleep. So when they are up, their eyes naturally are looking for that constant feed. So one of the first cue for you that your child is really overstimulated with the screens is the child is not making eye contact with you. You need to make sure that the screens have to be looked into. The second key one is the delay in speech, which is another very, very big one. If your child is 2 year old, of course, there are rest of the things that can and also play the role. But most of the time, and I think hands down till now, every child that walked in through our door during the preschool years, and I saw that and looked at the child, and the child was there was a delay in speech, and I ended up asking the parents how much time is the screen hours, and it ended up always huge number. And the moment it was removed, the problem was solved. So these two are very, very clear signs. The third very interesting one is that the dialect of the child. If you are in India, your child cannot speak British English. They cannot speak American English. If they are speaking that dialect, then definitely they are watching the content.
That I understand that. Yeah. So, what worries you most about the way that children are being, parented, or the way children are getting developed these years?
I think my biggest worry is the lack of urgency in the parents and education system to come at par with the pace at which the world is changing and upskilling ourselves. Because, see, I really believe that our children are here, our parenting and education is here.
Yeah.
Our children are just absorbing, learning, and really as a very, very fast pace. But we are struggling as adults to catch up to their pace. So the delay that we have in our society right now towards upskilling our parenting, we cannot parent the child in the same old way as we were doing years before. We cannot educate them in the same way. That's my biggest worry of all.
I understand. The world has changed and we have to adapt very fast now.
It is changing even faster. The world in which these children will grow, right? Like a child who is 3 year old, 4 year old. Can you imagine that when they will be 30 years old, what world they will be in? Just think about it, right? So we are parenting them for that.
Yes. Yeah, right. So you often say that stories and daily routines are powerful learning tools, and you have yourself authored so many books, and there's so many available via Seven Seas. So what does it actually look like when you apply it in a real home?
So in the real home, stories are the most, I think that is the tool that most used tool by humanity so far. That is not, it's not even in question that does story work. I mean, we all go for the movies. Why do we go for movies? It's a storytelling art. That's what it is, right? Our ancestors ended up telling everything to us in form of stories. What is Ramayana? Ramayana is a story. What is Mahabharata? Mahabharata is a story. Anytime you want to really kick that side of the brain, where you want the brain to understand something, empower it with stories. And it will stick with you. I give you a story today, that story will stick with you, not the rest of the things, the rest of the words which I was saying. That story always sticks, right? So when you are using the stories in your environment, the way that I did for my children, and it really worked, and even in my school, that was something that we did. We always had a story corner where there were books which were age appropriate, where the child could actually pick themselves up. Even if your child is 2 year old child, you should have a corner for your child. That is one thing. If anybody who is watching this and they really want to take one thing, I'll request you that if you have a child between 1.5 to 6 years of age, please have a small corner for your child where everything a child can pick up themselves. You don't have to hand it over to them, because stories is not just about reading. See, you will read them a story when you are sitting with them. But when they are sitting by themselves, they are just going to scroll through the pages and the brain is going to rewire and think, what does this mean? So there is a lot which is achieved with the stories.
So thank you for sharing such a wonderful tip. Uh, this is really nice, and if I go back to my era of early, I remember, yes, books were something that were very near and dear during my schooling time for me. So yes, I can understand. Even today, as a marketer, we keep on emphasizing on having a good brand story, having a good brand thing.
Yeah.
So yes, storytelling even today, when we also talk about it, I feel that yes, it's very important.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have to give three simple things that parents can do, yes, you have given one tip. Any other three more that you can give, which can genuinely support a child's development?
One is, I like giving this idea to the parents to be have a motivational chart. Habit formation is always a challenge for parents. Like, my child is not eating, or this is something that I know that I want this my child to really develop, but they are struggling with it. Build a motivational chart. A very easy way to do it: just grab a chart from the shop nearby and get some fun stickers from Amazon. When a child does something, you put that star there, you put that there in a row, and you see the magic of it. Motivational charts really work very well. They are very easy to do, very easy to form. The second one is, like I said before, upskill yourself. Understand yourself, give yourself that time that I know what I need to do with my child. It will just take 10 to 15 minutes on a Sunday. Think about how during the week you will be doing the activities. You're a working mother, you're a working father, you don't have time for your child. But if you are structured and you know that 15 minutes every day I'll be spending with my child doing this thing, your mind will automatically start following. And the third one, please, please, please let your children do their own things. Do not do it for them. That is the, I will say, hands down, the most important one
Yeah,
that
most
they should.
important thing. Yeah.
Most important one. Stop feeding them. Stop picking their things after they have cleaned up. Build their self, all the habits they have to do it by themselves. They will spill it. What will happen? The big thing is that they're drinking water, they'll spill it. But let them do it by themselves. So these are the ones.
So parents today are constantly comparing schools and milestones and achievements, even speech behavior, etc. How is this pressure becoming damaging? And if yes, then how much?
I think I don't even have to answer this question. If you just pick up the newspaper, we can see that. We can see that how the stress is actually at a later age. What is the result of the stress? And what actually happens to a child where who's constantly thinking about grades. In fact, it's interesting you asked me this question, because today morning only, grades is something that unfortunately our society is so obsessed with that. um, and the strangest part of it is that we ourselves have gone through education system, And after a certain age, we realized that grades actually did not matter. It was more about how much I understood the concept and how well versed I was in that understanding and how I'm using it in my daily life. The toppers are not the ones who you look up to. Anybody for that matter, Abdul Kalam or anyone, Swami Vivekanand, you're not looking at them because they are good toppers. But our obsession every year when this time comes, the results start coming up and you see it everywhere. Everyone going crazy with 99.8%. It is not about not appreciating the hard work of the child, but it is about the overdoing of that achievement, which makes rest of the children. So we are very much focused on that one child, but we forget about the damage that it does to the rest of the children.
Yes, definitely. And as the child grows, this pressure keeps on building up more and more.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So, what is that one thing that parents should stop stressing about completely?
FOMO, fear of missing out. Your
Okay.
child will not miss out. Give them the right values, give them the right foundation, and they will be able to navigate the right life in a much more conscious way, in a much more fruitful way. Your purpose of a child, there is in my book, Raising Buddha in Modern World, I've actually explained this concept of the shift in the purpose of parenting. Please go and look why you are parenting your child and stop parenting them from fear.
Yeah.
Parent them from love, because that is the way that you will be able to expand your consciousness first and then the child's consciousness.
Yes, it would reflect on them definitely, the parents.
Oh, yeah, it does. We can have one full session on that.
Yes. Um, so, what is one parenting trend that you disagree with completely?
This comparison thing, I want to provide and give everything to my child. My child should have choices. This is a trend, right? Like, my child should have this also, this also, this also, this. And let the child pick which one do they want. Everything has its right time. There is a natural progression in the brain which happens. You cannot expect a child who is 3 year old, 4 year old to make a right decision. I can have the whole array of junk in front of the child and one fruit bowl.
Yeah.
Now, a 3 year old doesn't know what an ice cream will do in winters for me. But you, as an adult, know that. Right? So, this trend that we need to put everything for a child, and the moment they say we have to, instant gratification.
Mm.
I need to bring it on the table the moment my child says, I can't say no to my child. So, these things are all playing the role in what we are seeing, the way we are seeing children.
Right. So, what is the one thing that child need more than anything in 2026? Like one thing that should be there.
You, as a parent, to be there. I am a working mom myself, and I've raised two children, um, grown up completely now. And I can assure you it's possible. It's only about bringing it in your rhythm. And when you are with your child, everything needs to shut off. You need to have that window that this is my window with my child. And what I'm going to do with it, just be there completely, there and now, just at that moment. That is what they need to do.
Yeah, this is such a gold thing that you are saying. And yes, yeah, having that presence definitely I can understand is
Yeah.
very
And
important.
it's not, you don't have to spend hours with your child. So don't spend hours, please. That's another problem that some
Don't
of
be
them.
there always also, yeah.
Yeah, you have to be there, but when you are there, at least give small, windows during the day with your child. When you are with your child completely, there's no distraction when you are present with your child. And that gradually has to wean off. So there should be a gradual weaning of when how much you have to be with your child and how your child is becoming independent as well.
I understand that. So now in 2026, you said that yeah, we are trying to we are raising child which will be 30 years, 40 years down the lane. So who is a future ready child? What is the definition of a future ready child?
Yeah. So for me, because when you said this question, I actually go back to my second book, which is The Seven C's, where I have written down the profile of a child, of the future child, that how we should look at during the this year. So the way I have put it is that a child should learn with curiosity, not because of fear. They should learn with curiosity. The second one is that where they respond with awareness. It is not just because somebody said so and they're responding. Their response should have an awareness into it. Their action should be purposeful. It should not be a random action. The next one is that they should be able to collaborate with humility. And these grades and everything, that's where you lose your humility because your ego is boosted so much. And finally, and most importantly, they create for the world around with consciousness, with that integrated approach for the humanity. Because I can build because of what tools I have and the way I am raised, my brain can create beautiful things. But if it is not aligned to the humanity's growth, then it won't serve the purpose.
When you are defining this future ready child for me, I feel that's an adult that today I think we all are trying to be.
Yeah, yeah. And but we are putting the seeds for those adults here and now. This is the time when we are doing it. Right.
Yeah. So I'm just respecting the time. I know I have more questions, but I have one last question for you. If a parent could focus on just one thing in the first 6 years, which will create the biggest impact for the future, what is that one thing that you would recommend?
Like I said, the most important thing is you. Nothing can change, nothing can take it over. You are the biggest catalyst in a child's life. Not a school, not a teacher, not a nanny, not a grandmother. You as a mother, because what we don't realize is the umbilical cord is cut, not the energetic cord. The energetic cord is always connected with you
Yeah,
and the
correct.
child. When you are stressed, the child will be feeling it.
Yeah, yeah.
So, your own centered state to nourish that child is very important. So, if you want to really make an impact, center yourself, stay there, and be around them.
That's a wonderful information tip, or that's a wonderful knowledge that you have shared. And yes, I resonated with it so much. So, finally, how a parent can learn all this and connect with you so that the whole concept of seven C's they can explore and they can know more about it.
So I'll request them to subscribe to my Insta handle because that's if they're on LinkedIn, they can follow on LinkedIn because both Insta and LinkedIn is the regular place where I actually put the content. And in the next 2 weeks, actually, I'm opening up the community as well for the WhatsApp, especially for the parents who have children between 2 to 3 years of age, because that is the time when home to school transition happens and a lot of people juggle that time, and there will be a WhatsApp community that they will be able to join, and where I will be taking regular sessions for them and answering their questions as well. They can experience and understand everything related to seven C's there, and it will be posted on Insta as well as LinkedIn on the social media platforms.
Great, congratulations for the new start that you are doing. And yes, I hope all those who are listening to us, all those who will listen to us in the coming time will definitely connect. And yes, your theory as well as the knowledge that you have shared with us. I'm really thankful for that.
Thank you. I hope it
Okay.
was useful.
Yes, yes, it was. So for even me, I think this is a lot of knowledge. And yes, thank you for sharing all this.
Welcome. Pleasure is mine.
Thank you everyone who have joined us, and I hope you will connect to Manika. Her details will be shared in the details below, in the description below. And I hope this was useful for everyone. Thank you all. Thanks, Manika.